Welcome to Gemara Academy. In this class, we will learn Tosfos Dibra Maschel Hitir Leiler Deisa. Let's begin. Hitir Leiler Deisa. This is the question of Rabbi Bar Abaya. If a person by mistake on Shabbos placed dough into the oven and then he realizes his mistake and he wants to remove the bread, he wants to remove the dough before it bakes, and he does an Isser Menatera. So the question is, did the Chazal permit him to remove the bread from the oven before he comes to Isser Chatas or not? Did we say no? There's an Isser to remove bread. You have to leave it there, even though it leads to a Chiyav Chatas, to an Isser Chatas. Says Tosfos, even though we say in Masechta Rosh Hashanah, Perik Yom Tov and Perik Yom Tov, it says in the pasuk, "Kol malachas aveda leisas of a gamer." Any malach of aveda you shouldn't do. So says we say over there in Rosh Hashanah that Yotzu Tkiyah Shefer comes out of this teaching, Yerdiyas Apas, and removing bread from the oven. They're removed from this Isser Shechachmi because they are a chachma, they are an art. Ve'ena malacha, and they're not a malacha, they're not work. So what's the question? Did they permit him to remove the bread from the oven or not? We learned in Masechta Rosh Hashanah that there's no isser involved in removing bread from the oven. It says Kol malachas aveda leisasu yotzu tkiyah shefer v'diyas apas. Tkiyah shefer and v'diyas apas are removed from this isser. Shechachma ve'ina malacha. They are a chachma, they're an art, and they're not a malacha. It says Tosfos mikomakam, nevertheless, even though they're excluded from the isser written in the pasuk, the isser of the minatera, midrabanan asur, midrabanan is asur. And now Tosfos brings the proof of this, because the Amr b'chol kisvei hakedesh, like we say later on in Perik Kol kisvei hakedesh, later in Masechta Shabbos, it says in an instance where we permitted an individual for various reasons to remove bread from an oven, it says he shouldn't do it with a spatula, rather he should only do it with a knife, indicating that there's an isser involved. Tosfos now continues and explains, also tkiyah shefer, which we mentioned is not also minatera. It's excluded from the isser because it says kol malachas aveda leisasu. It's a malacha of aveda that's asur. Tkiyah shefer is a chachman in a malacha, so it's not asur minatera, but it is asur midrabanan. V'chein tkiyah shefer, so to tkiyah shefer asur midrabanan. T'tnan b'perik beis of Rosh Hashanah. We have the proof to this is that we learned in the Mishnah in the second parak in Perik beis of Rosh Hashanah. We don't hold back the young children from blowing shofar when Rosh Hashanah falls out on Shabbos, because of chinuch we allow them to do it. So it says that we don't hold back the kids from doing it. This shows us that there is an isser. How do we see that? Because if we learn out from this, we see that the children we don't hold back, but the women we do. And the reason we don't hold back a woman from blowing shofar is because it's an isser, and the isser is midrabanan. So to summarize, Tosfos asked, what is the question of Rabbi Bar Abaya? Do we permit an individual to remove bread from the oven or not before he arrives at a chiyav chatas or an isser chatas? Of course we permitted him. There's no isser involved. We learned from a pasuk Kol malachas aveda leisasu that we exclude from there tkiyah shefer and v'diyas apas, that they're not a problem. Tosfos explained that although they're not a problem, in Torah they are midrabanan. And he brought the teaching where we see that v'diyas apas is also midrabanan, and then he also brought a teaching where we see that tkiyah shefer is also midrabanan.